Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
Welcome back to the Blacktop, y'all, where I always got next. And man, oh man, that was a fun trade deadline. Watching the deals come in, there wasn't a ton of deals. There's some deals that we're going to talk about. I'm not going to break down every single trade in depth, but I'm kind of going to just give my reaction, who I think won the deal, and you know, things of that nature. So before we get into all that, if you're new to my channel, definitely hit that subscribe button, man. It helps me grow my channel a ton. So let's get right into it. Now, as y'all see, I got my boy John Collins jersey on. I'm so happy the Hawks didn't trade him. I just want to lead off with that real quick. But let's skip all that. Let's get right into it and talk about this Sixers and Nets deal that went down. I didn't think it was going to happen. You know, I made a trade video a couple days ago about the two big deals that went down, and I did not think that James Harden and Ben Simmons were going to be moved by the deadline, but I was wrong, clearly. And I'm not going to pick a winner of this deal. I think it was a pretty good deal on both ends, although I do think the Sixers overpaid just a tad. When you look at who they gave up, Seth Curry was so big for them in the playoffs last year, knocking down big shots. To me, Seth Curry is one of the most underrated players in the league. His ability to catch and shoot, he is a lethal three-point shooter, can get hot at any time, and really go off for 30 at any time, you know, as a 6'3", 6'2", 6'3" guard. That's not really he's not a star at all, actually. He's just a really, really good, underrated role player. And then the Sixers giving him up with Andre Drummond. Now the Sixers are going to be kind of looking for a backup big. They brought in Andre Drummond to kind of take those minutes off of Joel Embiid, but now they don't really have a backup big. They got Paul Millsap back in the deal. Let's be honest, he's washed. Paul Millsap's washed. So I kind of look at this deal. It was a decent move for both sides. When you have two guys that have voiced that they want out, I guess you got to make a move. The Sixers, on the other, you know, they do look very good on paper with James Harden, with Joel Embiid. If James Harden with that hamstring injury, I know it's been nagging, so we'll see what happens with that. But that is probably a top 3 duo in basketball now. And can they do something in the playoffs? It's all, you know, to be seen. We will see. Now, looking at it from the Nets standpoint, I do like them getting Ben Simmons, adding some defense that they desperately needed, adding an elite rebounder in Drummond, and that lethal three-point shooter in Seth Curry. So there were some picks involved, but I'm not going to get into all that. So as for me, this deal is just I guess to be seen, to be decided, whatever you want to call it. So we'll call it to be decided. So it's to be decided. We'll see what happens with these two teams, how they far in the playoffs. When Ben Simmons is going to come back, we don't know. So we will see. Now the next trade I want to talk about is the Mavericks and the Wizards deal, man. And this trade caught me off guard because I'm thinking, I feel so bad for Luka, man. And I know Porzingis has not been healthy and he hasn't been very consistent with the Mavericks. But Spencer Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans? Come on, man. I don't know about that. I definitely don't know about that. That is to me a terrible trade. I feel like the Mavericks got finessed. I don't know. I feel bad for Luka because I feel like the Mavericks are going to be a team where, or Luka's going to be a guy where he loses in the first round consistently throughout his career because the Mavericks front office has not been able to put a contending or even a really strong team around Luka. This deal is definitely a head scratcher on the Mavericks end. Say what you want about Porzingis, he's still better than Dinwiddie and better than Bertans. Dinwiddie's still coming off that ACL injury. He has not been great this year. Davis Bertans a cone. All he does is he's just catch and shoot. That's it. He can't play defense. He's not going to take you to the rim. He's catch and shoot. That's it. So I look at the Wizards of the winners of this deal. Now we know Bradley Beal's out for the season, so maybe this is just a deal to see if they can potentially push for the play-in spot. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs regardless. So that's my quick analysis on that trade. Now there was a couple other small deals that did go down that I really like. I love the Celtics getting Derek White. I think that was a super underrated pickup that happened. And all they gave up was, I think, Josh Richardson, Romeo Langford, who doesn't even play, and I think a first-round pick. And there may have been something else small in that deal. I can't remember. But Derek White, I think, is going to be a very good pickup for the Celtics. They're starting to get hot. They've won a handful of games recently. I think they're 5 or 6 games above 500 now. So I like this deal for them a lot. Derek White is a really underrated player. Great catch and shoot player. Can play, make, can give really the Celtics what they're lacking off the bench, because their bench depth has been kind of questionable this year, and that's kind of why, part of the reason why they struggled. So I love this deal for the Celtics. Don't love it for the Spurs, but that's part of it. So I give the Celtics the dub on this deal. Now moving into the next deal, there was a couple other small deals. Well, actually, before I get into the other small deals, the Bucks, that 4-team trade, the Bucks, Kings, Clippers, and I can't remember who the 4th team was, but the Pistons. So the Pistons getting Marvin Bagley. I think that was a good move for the Pistons. They didn't give up really anything. Josh Jackson and whoever else was in that deal for a guy that still has potential if he can stay healthy. I think Marvin Bagley did need a change of scenery. Being with the Kings, and I talked about that in my last video, I thought they were going to keep him with Sabonis, but we see that now that's not going to be the case. I think that the Pistons definitely needed a big, a big that has potential. Let me put it that way. And Marvin Bagley can be a solid player in this league. I don't think he'll ever be a star, but he's still super young. He was 2nd overall pick. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, but we'll see what that move can be for them. Now for the Bucks, I love this move getting Ibaka. Kind of an insurance policy with Brook Lopez being injured. We don't know how long he's going to be out, when he's going to return, when he's going to look, what he's going to look like when he does get back. Ibaka has been able to be a defensive anchor, shot block, stretch the floor. I think that's a really good move for them. Now, they did give up Donte DiVincenzo to get him, but at the same time, they won the championship last year when Donte DiVincenzo was hurt. So I don't really think they're losing too much. I like Donte DiVincenzo as a role guy. I think that was a good move for the Kings. And for the Kings, man, they're trying to make some moves. They are trying to get relevant again. And people, I know a lot of people called me crazy that the Sabonis trade was an L for them, and I don't see it that way. Now they add Donte DiVincenzo, a scoring wing, undersized, a little bit undersized 2 guard that can score, that can take you off the dribble, is a great finisher. Very athletic guy. I like this move for the Kings. They did give up Marvin Bagley, but I think he was on his... Everybody knows he was on his way out anyway. So I do like that move for the Kings. For the Bucks, it was great. For the Clippers, I don't love it. I'm not really going to go too much into it on that. I think they did take a kind of an L on this trade. But to me, the big winner of that deal was the Milwaukee Bucks. So moving on to a smaller trade... I think the Rockets got Dennis Schroeder, Amos Freedom, who ended up actually getting bought out. I think Dennis Schroeder is actually in the market to get bought out as well. That's been a rumor, so we'll see what happens with that. And then the Celtics get back Daniel Tice, who is very familiar with the Celtics. He was there a couple years ago. They get another kind of undersized big to add into that rotation, to that front court rotation. Dennis Schroeder hasn't played great for them this year. And then them getting Derek White, I think that was kind of an adios to Dennis Schroeder, saying that this is going to be our backup playmaker off the bench. So Celtics, man, making moves. They're trying to move up in the East. I like what they're doing. A long second half of the season we got. So that's all the trades I'm really going to talk about, man. I know there were some other deals, but I'm not going to go too much into the other deals. Jeez, can't speak. To the other deals, I know Gordon Dragic was moved. He is being bought out by the Spurs. We'll see who looks at him. So, with that being said, I kind of want to talk about some teams that I was very shocked that did not make any moves. And let's start with the Lakers, man. What the hell is Rob Pelinka doing? I don't understand not making a move at all. I can understand you probably couldn't move Russell Westbrook. His contract, I said that a couple videos ago. His contract was immovable. He didn't have a lot of value. But to not make any moves, I don't know. The market must have been dry as hell for them, because to not do anything is a huge head scratcher for me. They have been terrible. They just lost to the Blazers last night with pretty much the YMCA team, G Leaguers, whatever you want to call it, other than Anthony Simons. I don't know. Lakers, man, they got a lot to figure out and not a lot of time to do it. So that I don't really understand. Another team I don't really understand not making a move is the Knicks. The Knicks have not been good this year. They traded for Cam. We all know that. That hasn't worked out because they don't play him. And they haven't made they didn't make any other moves. I don't understand that. They've been bad. Everybody was pretty much on the trade block. They announced that everybody was available. But to not make any moves, that's another questionable decision, man. And I don't know. The Knicks and Lakers, those were two of the biggest disappointments I've seen, with the trade deadline. My Hawks didn't make any moves, which I'm not really shocked at that. I'm glad that we actually didn't make any moves because we're starting to get hot. Thank God John Collins is there. I said that earlier. But that's pretty much it, man. And that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments of the deals. Did I leave any major deals out? I don't think I did. I covered the main ones. If I did, I'm sorry. If I didn't cover your favorite team, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this video short and sweet. And with that being said, I will catch y'all next episode.